Hey, Coach Patrick here from Endurance Nation, back with another Coach video podcast. This week I'm going to be talking a little bit about open water swimming. Open water swimming is one of those amazing things about triathlon. I think that for the majority of people who are adult onset swimmers, you probably spent the majority of your life, the first half of your life, never really thinking about swimming in any lake or body of water that you saw. And now that you're a triathlete, you're driving down the highway and you're looking at stuff and you're like, I could swim that thing. I could swim that. I could swim in that ocean over there. It's kind of a whole new range of skills. It brings with it a whole new set of responsibilities, stress, challenges, but also incredible sense of accomplishment, connection with nature. Open water swimming is quite frankly awesome. If it weren't for open water swimming opportunities that I have here in Rhode Island, I would really have a tough time swimming at any other time during the year. Because swimming in a pool in a box is just not exciting at all. But swimming in the open water does present challenges, and I'm going to talk a little bit about them, in training and racing perspectives. First and foremost, I think the biggest challenge is sort of getting your bearings, is understanding what it means to be in open water versus swimming in a pool. All of your training, most of the year, revolves around this box. It's a set size. It's 25 yards, 25 meters, maybe 50 meters if you're lucky. It's got lane lines in it that reduce the splash. People swim in a straight line. There's lines on the bottom of the pool you can follow. It's very orderly, very simple. There's stress, within swimming in the pool. Who's going to be in the lane today? Is it going to be that big jerk? Is that lady going to wear all that perfume and jump in the pool again without a shower? Is it the mean lifeguard, or is it the sketchy lifeguard who looks at me? Where do I put my bag? Is it going to get soaking wet again? Did I bring my lock? Am I late for work? Is it really going to take me 35 minutes to get ready when I'm done? All that stress, right? You have all this that goes into swimming, and you found a system, a way of getting oriented to the water. When you go to open water swimming, you don't really get those cues. You don't have a chance to stop at the other side and hang on to something. You don't get to count how many strokes it takes to go 25 yards or 25 meters. You get splashed in the face. There's a lot of sort of disorienting things that come with open water swimming. So the most important thing that you can do when you go from the pool to open water is have a ritual that helps you get ready to swim in the open water. And by that, I'm not talking about something you do in your car with like incense and stuff before you start. I mean, when you get in the water, what is it you do? For me, my personal ritual is I swim for 3 or 4 minutes, just kind of easy. Then I start doing a couple drills. Not drills like I would do, hardcore in a pool, but I've got 3 or 4 drills that I like to work on, and I will do them in the open water. And the point is, I'm calibrating myself. I'm calibrating myself, the stroke, the glide, the reach, the pull, the rotation, the breathing, all the things that I work on when I'm in the pool. I'm trying to bring my experience in the open water into that pool mindset. I'm trying to bring those two things together, which will allow me to become a more efficient and effective open water swimmer. While swimming in the pool and in open water can be different, usually you wear a wetsuit in open water and you don't in a pool, how you swim is essentially the same. And one of the biggest mistakes that people make is they just jump in open water, start swimming. There's no warm-up, there's no drills, there's no calibration. And they're just kind of moving their arms and spinning their wheels. We want to avoid that. So we want to calibrate. So your job here is to calibrate as you swim. Okay? Now, what does it mean to do a workout in open water versus in the pool? If you're an Endurance Nation athlete or if you're coached by anyone else, you probably have a very nice, neat little workout that says what to do for warm-up and what to do for the first main set, second main set. And it's got times and descending intervals and repeats and rest intervals. And then you get into a lake, a pond, or the ocean, and you say, all right, what do I do? I'll tell you right now, the last thing that I want you to do is to figure out in your head that 100 takes you, a minute 30 seconds, which is 90 seconds on your watch. So you're going to set a 90-second repeat timer on your watch, and then you're going to swim as if you're swimming 100s in open water in the pool. That is how you take an awesome experience like open water swimming and make it suck just as much as swimming in a pool. All right, let's not do that. Instead, we've got your basic ritual, and I like to think of open water swimming having sort of 2 functions as it relates to your training. Okay. There's training for fitness, and there's training for racing. So in a training for fitness scenario, you've got your ritual, you've got your warm-up, etc. And then, ideally, depending if you've got, usually your swim is a loop or an over and a back or whatever, I usually tell people that your goal is to increase your speed across the course of that workout. So for me, where I swim, we've got an out and a back. So the way that I work it is, when I swim out, it's about a half a mile. I start off easy, long in my stroke, and then I build my effort as I move across to the rest point, and I'll finish. So I might do 10 minutes kind of steady, and then I've got 5 minutes pretty hard. Then I rest at the halfway point, and then I turn around and do the same thing back. So in both cases, I'm swimming well, swimming long, and then I build the effort at the end, so I'm finishing strong. And I'll do that on the way back. Same thing. So I get 10 minutes of pretty hard swimming, but 20 minutes of really decent long swimming in the open water. And remember that in open water swimming, on race day, we ask you to swim only as fast as your ability to maintain form. So speed in an open water setting or hard work swimming in an open water setting is really not that race specific. It's just a tool for you to learn about different gears in open water and what your return is on that investment in terms of how you swim. Okay? So that's your training workout over here. Your racing workout, in general, I tell people you want to get in the water, you want to warm up. Your same ritual, you might extend it a little bit more by doing some pickups, which is like 10 to 15 strokes at a higher race-oriented cadence with the equal number of strokes easy, just to kind of get the heart rate elevated. If you've ever experienced that kind of early, a rush of adrenaline, or inability to breathe well, or just serious stress at the start of the swim, like a physical response to the start of the swim, it's more often than not a case because you're not warmed up. So we'll do our ritual, we'll do our little warm up, and then on a race pace swim, I encourage you to practice what you'll end up doing on race day, which is 40 to 50 strokes pretty hard, pretty fast, and then settling into your steady pace that you're going to sustain, and then focus on your cues. So really put yourself in that race scenario. So again, in my scenario, my out portion, which is a half mile, I'll start off, I'll do 50 strokes pretty hard, pretty fast, and then I'll settle into my longer stroke, and I really start focusing in on all my cues. How's my reach, how's my rotation, how's my breathing, where's my arm position, where's my shoulder, how are my hips doing, have I shut my kick down, what are all the different things I'm focusing on. I focus on sustaining that speed to the end. I may even time myself just to see how I do, right? And then I'll turn around, I'll do the same thing on the way back, okay? I'll start off fast and then settle in. At the end of my swim, when I'm wrapping it up, I usually do 2 laps when I'm swim. So I'll do, start fast, steady over, start fast, steady back, start fast, steady over, and then on the last bit back, on the last quarter, or the end of your workout, whichever that may be, I swim steady and then I finish strong in the last 50 strokes. Again, just to simulate kind of the stress of what I'll have on race day. And so that's your training workout over here, and then you have your swim-oriented workout as well, both the start and the finish options, okay? Now, let's talk a little bit about swimming in open water in terms of direction. One of the biggest challenges that people have is they find without that constant black line on the bottom of the pool or the lane line for bumping into, that it's very easy to get off course in swimming in open water. And that's very natural. There's many different things that affect you. There's current, wind, there's hard to sight elements. There could be distractions in the air, like the sun could be blinding you in a way. The wind can be blowing in a certain way. The chops affecting your breath. In general, people kind of naturally align themselves when there's chop or wind or current. They naturally kind of point themselves into that current. So it can be challenging, if you want to swim straight ahead to this buoy, but you've got a current coming in at you, if straight ahead is 12 o'clock and that's the buoy, you've got a current coming at you from 3 o'clock on the dial, you're going to find yourself more often than not turning into that current, and that's fine. You want to make sure that your goal is to get to that buoy on time. And if you've got current coming from your right and the buoy straight ahead, you're going to actually have to swim to the right a little bit to end up straight ahead, right? If you swim straight for that buoy with current coming from the right, you're going to end up far out to the left. So let's talk about what it means to swim in a straight line. 2 key elements. Number 1 is sighting. Okay, sighting is so important. It's important that you do it in a simple and easy way that works for you. Okay, in general, I recommend sighting about every 5th breath. Okay, there's plenty of people who sight more often, but unless you are just an awful swimmer in terms of direction, like one arm is like totally shorter than the other, or your shoulder's really messed up or whatever, odds are you're not going to get that far off course in 15 or 20 strokes. Okay, so I recommend sighting like that. And the way that I sight, and the way that I recommend sighting, you're swimming nice and long in the water. Your head is down, looking at the bottom, or down in the water, facilitating rotation in good body position. When you're ready to sight, I breathe on my left-hand side. My left hand is out of the water. So when my right hand is entering the water, the side that I roll onto to breathe on my left-hand side, as my right hand enters the water, I use that hand as a lever to lift my eyes out of the water in front of me. I'm not breathing yet. All I need to do is get my eyes out of the water. So on a sight stroke, left hand is pulling through, right hand is entering, the head pops up a bit, just enough so my eyes are out of the water. I get a quick snapshot of what's in front of me, and then I roll on my right hand side as the right hand fully enters the water, all the way out, reaches out underwater. I roll on my right side, breathing to my left, and I take my stroke, okay? So my head comes out of the water as my right hand is in front of me as a platform to facilitate that. And I only bring my head out of the water enough so I can see quickly, and then I roll on my side to breathe. I do not lift my mouth and my nose out of the water to breathe. Doing that really engages the lower back and the hamstrings. If you've ever cramped getting out of the water, odds are it's because you sighted too much or you sighted too aggressively in terms of your technique. Okay, and the reason why we only need to take a quick snapshot, it's just like how when you're riding your bike and you want to look behind you to see if there's a car coming. You don't turn all the way around on your bicycle to look directly behind you to see if there's a car coming. All you do is touch your chin to your shoulder, let your peripheral vision do the work, right? So same thing when you're sighting. If you know where you're going and you're heading for that big pine tree, when you sight look up, you're looking at the horizon, you see a pine tree, it seems to be pretty much in front of you, you're good. You don't need to stop and be like, hey, how many branches are on that pine tree? Is that a porta potty located at the base of that pine tree? What stones are those making the path that goes by the pine tree? No, we don't care about that. Are you headed to the pine tree or not, right? That's all we want. A quick glimpse will give you that, okay? The second element to straight swimming in open water is direction. You have to remember that you're a front-wheel drive vehicle. You're a swimmer, you use your arms to swim. And what a lot of people end up doing, which I feel is incorrect, is to adjust. They'll swim, right? They'll swim. They look up, and they realize that they're off course. They look straight ahead, and the object they want to go to is on their right or on their left. And what they'll do is they've stopped dead in the water. They will turn their bodies in the direction of that new direction they want to head. They'll turn their body toward the pine tree and then start swimming again. Now, when you sight or when you breathe, your hips drop. It slows you down. If you sight like I just described, where you stop and physically turn your body, you've effectively stopped dead in the water. You have lost any form of momentum, and most of us do not have lots of momentum when we're swimming in open water. So, if you're sighting, right, for me, my right hand enters, eyes look up. If I look up and that pine tree that I want to be in front of me is on my right-hand side, I don't stop and turn. I keep swimming, except the change that I make since I'm front-wheel drive is that the next time I'm putting my right hand in the water, instead of entering it with my fingers first, right, usually my index finger kind of goes in a little first, my index and thumb side goes in first, goes in front, right in front of my shoulder, and I roll on top of it. Instead of swimming in that straight line, I take that hand and I put it in the water like a foot out to the right-hand side, okay? So I'm swimming along like this, woo, here I am swimming, and I look up and I'm like, oh my God, totally off course. Next swim stroke, boom, I put my arm out on the side like I'm about to try and hug somebody, right on the side over there. And then I swim my 5 strokes and I look up and I'm like, okay, I'm pretty much, that one stroke adjustment has got me where I want to be. If I continually find myself drifting off to one side or the other, I may incorporate that one wider stroke on a set interval. Perhaps every 3rd breath cycle, if I'm known to drift to my left, every 3rd breath cycle, I'll put my right hand out a little further on the right-hand side as that front direction vehicle. What you want to avoid is stopping and turning and restarting, or trying to swim across your body. Like, people will pull themselves to turn. So they'll put their hand in the water in front of them, straight, and then they'll pull over to the they'll pull underneath their body to try and go the opposite direction. So my right hand will pull under my body to try and force me to the left. The problem is that's an awful stroke. It totally messes up your rhythm and your biomechanics. And remember, the rudder is way out in front of you. It's where your hand entered. That's the most effective place for it to be. So we'll just drop that hand out a little wider on that one side to keep you going, okay? So what we're looking for, again, for direction, good sighting, smart sighting, eyes only, right? every 5th breath cycle. Ideally, you're doing 3 or 4 count breathing. When you do find yourself needing to turn, you simply place the hand on the side you want to go to a little wider. Got to turn to my right. Right hand goes out wide to the right, and I take a stroke. Need to turn to the left. Left hand goes out wide to the left. But I am not turning my body and restarting, and I am not pulling across my body in an attempt to change directions. Okay, it's also very ineffective. So, talked a little bit about what it means to orient yourself. I've talked a little bit about the difference between training and race open water swimming, and now I've given you my tips on what it means to swim well in open water on race day. Remember, at the end of the day, we only want you to swim as fast as your ability to maintain your form. The swim is the price of entry to your race, regardless if it's a sprint or an Ironman or some Deca Ironman thing you're doing. It is the shortest leg you will do. It can be time costly due to your technique, but you can reduce the impact of that portion of the race by swimming smoothly, swimming with great technique, making sure you swim inside your box, and being as smart as you can in the water. I sure hope this video and podcast has helped you out. As always, please check out Endurance Nation online. We are the world's largest, fastest growing online triathlon team. We like to say, you work hard, get smart, and you go fast. Take care, folks. Coach Patrick signing off. See you guys online or at the races.